God, I'm good. Lou, I want a senior staff meeting. What do you mean, when? Now. Hold on to your hat, Vicky. This is just the beginning.
Uh-oh. Is that you, Vicky?
Clint, it's me.
Oh, how's Baltimore?
I'll tell you all about Baltimore this evening. Right now, we have a problem.
Let me guess. It's the sun.
It's the sun. I assume you've seen this morning's issue?
I got it right here, darling.
I am very disappointed. Mel Hayes was supposed to be your responsibility. This is no laughing matter. This is about the reputation of the Banner. Clint, we're running a newspaper, not a frat party.
Okay, fine. I'll discuss it with them.
Obviously, a conversation with you is not enough, so as soon as this service is over, I'm heading straight back to Landview, and the minute I get in, I would like to meet with you in my office with Mel, assuming, of course, that you can find him.
Okay, boss.
In the meantime, I will try not to think about what this is going to mean for the Banner.
Well, offhand, I'd say that when his byline hits the front page, that very day, we'll sell about 20,000 extra newspapers. Face it, darling, he may be a pain in the neck, but he's a star.
Room service.
You see? I told you I usually get what I want.
Well, you didn't get anything last night. Passed out as soon as your head hit the pillow. Do you remember anything?
What I remember makes me not want to remember anymore.
Well, in that case, we made love on every available piece of furniture, and you said that sex with me was a religious experience. Then you passed out.
For the last year and change, sex for me has been a religious experience, and I have been an atheist. However, if you would like to bring me back into the fold...
You have a job you have to get to. That is provided you still have a job.
Oh, how would you just hit me with an anvil?
An anvil would be less deadly.
That sloppy reporting. They didn't interview the primary source, me.
Aren't you going to read it?
I don't need to read it. I was there.
You need to get to your job at the Banner. When Vicky sees the sun, you're going to be lucky if you still have a job. She's going to fire you on the first day.
Well, that would be a record even for me.
Excuse me, is this your idea of packing?
I was in a hurry.
It's like you were fleeing a hurricane.
Yeah, or stepping into one. Hurricane Dorian.
No, now don't worry. I'm known for my rumpled charm.
Honey, this wardrobe went past rumpled ages ago. I'll call the valet, see if he can bring it back to rumpled. Nothing else we can do.
Oh, I can think of something.
What are you going to wear to work?
I've got a garment bag in my closet.
Oh. Well, what's happening now?
What's happening now? I'm asking you if you can think of a more sincere way to say, welcome to Landview.
Oh.
Drew, I've been thinking. I'm going to make you an executive with Buchanan Enterprises.
Excellent.
But since you've been kind of brand new to the business world, you're going to have to start at the bottom. Vice president. Let's see, vice president in charge of development. How's that sound to you?
That sounds great.
I'll show you something. This is the map of the Landview waterfront along the Lantana River.
What's the shaded area for?
That's Buchanan Enterprises property. We haven't been busy down there for a while. A lot of folks don't realize that I own 25% of the whole spread. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down to Town Hall and check all the records of the adjoining properties in that area. And I mean everything. Prior sale prices, tax assessments, liens, And most important, who owns them. Now, do you think you're up to that?
Sure, that doesn't sound too hard.
The hard thing is doing it, Drew, and keep my name out of it.
Is this what they call a land grab?
No, this is what they call consolidation and development of underutilized local resources. You got it?
Did y'all see the front page today? That's cute, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough. This is just the first shot. I don't want to just knock the banner off balance. I want to bring it down, and this is the first chance that we've had to do that in a long time. Is there some kind of a problem here?
Todd, the banner just hired Mel Hayes. That only makes him stronger, it would seem to me.
It would seem. You know, there's an article that goes with this headline. Did you get a chance to read it, Briggs?
Now, I don't deny that Mr. Hayes has a behavioral problem.
Well, Mr. Hayes is a lush. Hayes, it's a perfect name for him. The guy's been in a haze for months.
But he can still write.
Which makes him a threat to our circulation base.
Mel Hayes is a threat to my liquor cabinet, and that's all. Mel Hayes is a walking time bomb ready to go out in a Banner City room, and when that happens, we are going to be ready for it. You guys bring me the pictures, you bring me the stories, and I'll take care of the newspaper war. If we hit it with everything we've got every day, how long do you think it's going to be before the sun rules the city?
Nevermore. Nevermore. Nevermore.
You know, I thought today might bring me some peace, but it hasn't. All during the ceremony, I just wanted to jump up and tell everyone the truth about my father's life. You know, all the wonderful disaster he's unleashed in the name of love.
Yes, but what difference would it make now? Let people think what they need to think.
Satchie's gone. The truth would only be painful.
That's funny. It's exactly what he would have said if he was alive.
I told Andrew and Maggie that I have to go back to Lambview just as soon as this service is over.
Can't you come to Tidewater with us? Just for a little bit?
No, Kenneth, no. I have to meet with your father and Mr. Hayes as soon as possible. Besides, I think I'm not quite up to a visit to Tidewater. It's been very hard for me to go there since Sloan died.
Okay. I still think you're making a bit of a fuss, though, over just another reporter on a bender.
When the reporter is so well known and so well paid, and when his bender winds up on the competition's front page, it's worth the fuss.
Yeah, but it's the front page of the Sun. I mean, who's going to take that seriously?
Me.
I want to thank all of you for honoring the life of Bishop Carpenter by attending the ceremony, and I also want to thank the diocese for letting me perform this service by the graveside. I hope that I can live up to my uncle's high standards, because Bishop Carpenter was a perfectionist.
What did you say?
Nevermore.
Quoth the parrot, nevermore. It'll never work.
Nevermore.
Anybody positive anymore? You know, I'd love to stay and chat with you, Bird, but I'm busy plotting the downfall of my competition. Where was I? Oh, right. If this is going to be war, we're going to need a war room. You set that up for me, Briggs, and I want an anti-banner piece in every edition we run, somewhere in the first 5 pages. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism here. I'm talking about real, jugular, raw meat style. Here, take this thing, will you?
Oh, no.
The more personal, the better. You know, affairs, addictions, embarrassments, whatever. You get 2 reporters on it, Briggs. Keep them on it permanently.
And yet another display of principled journalism.
All right, that's enough. Everybody go away.
Todd, when are we going to discuss vacations for the staff?
Nevermore.
He's a born publisher.
And what about the bird?
What about it?
Well, he's obviously valuable and lost. Shouldn't we check with the classified, call the local TV news, check with the police?
Let's see if somebody filed a missing parrot report.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, somebody must be looking for him.
On the lamb.
What? I tell you, you do all that, all right? But don't tell anybody why.
All right.
On the lamb?
Nevermore.
Now, don't get your hopes up, all right? You can't... No, you can stay here until I figure out what to do with you.
Feed the bird. Feed the bird.
I gotta feed this garbage to the birds.
Good morning.
Oh, really? Not from where I'm sitting.
Perhaps you'd like to move?
You know, this hotel has really gotten seedy since I gave it to you. Before this, I ordered a couple of 2-minute eggs I got hard-boiled. And now I see you let anybody who wants in this place.
Well, I find Mr. Hayes rather sweet, a bit flamboyant, perhaps, but I seem to like that in a man.
Renee, Hayes is a real cutthroat.
Well, in that case, you two should get along famously.
You remember old Billy Thomas from Virginia?
Oh.
This Hayes here made old Billy out to be some kind of a crook. He crucified him 3 times a week in his lousy column. Everybody got riled up, and those weak-kneed cowards in Washington started crawling for the exits.
What happened?
What happened? He got nailed in some trumped-up tax evasion charge. He's doing time in a federal pen, thanks to you-know-who. No, him, right there, him.
Good morning, everybody.
It depends on who you're talking to. Back in the land of the living, I see?
Oh, barely. I'd like to apologize for my excessive appreciation of your hospitality last night and for any damage to your hotel's good name.
Oh, very kind and not necessary. The son got our name correctly, spelt it correctly, and we've had at least 6 calls about the rooftop dancing. You know my ex-husband, Asa Buchanan?
By formidable reputation only. Good morning.
This is his grandson, Drew.
Yeah, Drew.
Asa told me that you two have a mutual acquaintance.
Really?
Oh, who's that?
Mr. Billy Thomas.
Oh, Big Bill. That's his nickname. That's also what he got from the IRS. How is the old thief?
Billy Thomas is no more of a thief than I am.
Is that on the record?
He made a little bookkeeping error.
Yeah, I'll say he hired an honest bookkeeper.
It's a crime what you did to that poor man. 18
months in a minimum security facility? I wouldn't call that hard time. It's early retirement.
There's a really nice table over there, nice and sunny.
Yeah, it is kind of gloomy over here. Well, see you again, Mr. Buchanan.
You know how to deal with reporters, Drew? You don't.
Drew, can I get you something?
No, I've got a few errands to run. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You want some advice?
I live for it.
Steer clear of Hayes.
That's very funny. Dorian suggested exactly the same thing.
You know, there's one thing I can't stand. It's when a man makes a fool of himself when he's drunk.
I couldn't agree more. I prefer my fools stone cold sober.
Yeah, joke if you want, Renee. But I'm telling you, if Hayes is getting mixed up with the Dragon Lady, you know he is trouble.
Well, I'll have the poached eggs on toast and the lowdown on Asa and Renee.
Like kings throughout the ages, Asa has his jester.
Aha. So in his court, she's the only person who can speak the truth and not get her head cut off.
Maybe it's less complicated than that. She loves him, and an impossible man like Asa knows how rare that makes her.
Well, speaking as an impossible man myself, I sympathize. The women in our lives can pretty much have their way with us.
I'll have to remember that.
Now, the grandson, Drew, is he Clint's?
No, he's Beau's boy. You met Beau last night.
The police commissioner with his lovely and intelligent wife, yes.
Drew is the product of an earlier misalliance, and he was raised by his mother.
I don't know why, but that young man is the last person I would want to see sitting across from me at a poker table. So, when did he finally look up his father?
Last year. I think he's still looking.
Aren't we all?
That concludes the ceremony.
No, wait, please. I'm sorry. I can't let it end this way. I have something I want to say.
Don't, Maggie. No, let her do what she has to do.
I've been watching your faces during the ceremony. And I see how deeply moved you are by my father's death. Your grief seems so simple and sincere, and I envy that so much. My father and I shared a great deal as father and daughter. We shared stubbornness and patience. And we also shared a total lack of faith in one another. What we stopped sharing years ago was a common language of the heart. You know, the simple gift of real communication about things that matter, like life and love. Our hopes for the future, our regrets of the past. Since his death, I can see that there were other John Carpenters, other than the man I called Daddy. I can see it reflected in your tears. And I wish I knew that man. All of them. Because every day that we didn't pick up a phone or a pen or just show up on each other's doorstep was another opportunity lost. I'm going to take that as a lesson in my father's life. A hard lesson, but I'll always be grateful to you for it, Daddy.
Feed the bird.
What do you think I'm trying to do? Everything here. I got candy bars, I got cold pizza, I got marshmallows. At least you're straightforward with me. I like that in a bird. At least you hear the way everybody talks to me. Todd, You're the greatest. Todd, have I got a deal for you? Oh, Todd, I love you. I know what they're really thinking.
Feed the bird.
Exactly. Well, come on, what is it that you want, huh? Here. 8 billion birds in the world. I get the one with an eating disorder. So what's this, some kind of a chicken nugget thing? Here, try it. Come on. Come on, take it. It's just chicken. Take it. Oh, I get it. You know, you're never going to get anywhere in this town. You don't learn to eat your own kind. You got to learn to adjust, to adapt, or you die. You go along, you just keep going. Try and be this square peg, fit in a round hole. You're going to wind up screwed up. Don't you come crying on my shoulder when that happens to you. What is it that you want?
Lamb chops.
Hazel, get me rewrites. Hayes is sober.
And a little late.
I gather I very likely incurred the wrath of Madam Publisher.
Well, let's say Vicky took a rather dim view of your rooftop escapade.
Well, confidentially, I have an even dimmer view of it myself, and a dimmer memory.
Well, I'm just the editor around here. As long as your stuff is on my desk, on time and accurate, I'm happy. On the other hand, Vicky's publisher, and she worries about things like how her paper stands in the community and whether her reporters can stand it all.
How angry is she?
She's pretty anxious to have this little chat with us. I just found out how she's getting back from Baltimore.
Well, how? Limo.
Try helicopter. She hired a helicopter.
I wish she hadn't gone to all that trouble on my account.
Now, you know, when she walks in that door, she's probably going to be in a pretty bad mood. And she does have cause to let you go. I mean, that morals clause she put into your contract, that wasn't just boilerplate to her. Now, I've done everything I can do. It's up to you now. You are the one that has to convince her that you're serious, if you are serious, about this job at the Banner.
I knew it was a bad day to get out of bed.
Oh, welcome back. How was your trip?
Bumpy and expensive. Where's Mel?
Did someone summon me?
Yes, come on in.
Hi.
Good morning. And how are you feeling?
Quite recovered. Thank you. And I want to apologize for any embarrassment my behavior caused you or the Banner.
You know, Mel, this is not really why I'm so angry with you. I expect that among all the members of this staff, there is every vice, every sin, every obsession that I have ever heard of, and probably quite a few that have never even occurred to me, except one, dishonesty. If I can't trust everyone who works for me, then we're sunk. Now, I was reluctant to hire you. A few phone calls had me convinced you were a risk, but you stood before me and you said you wanted this opportunity because you wanted to save your life, which I assumed meant change it.
I still do.
Really? How can I believe that in view of what happened last night? How can I ever trust you to change? I can't even trust you to show up on your first day of work with a clear head. I would like to know if this is the picture of an honest man. And I insist on knowing if I will ever see it again on the front page of the competition.
To remember to get that deadbolt fixed.
Is this your idea of news?
No, that's yesterday's news. You should see what I'm working on for tomorrow.
This is evil-minded, simple-minded, cruel. What in God's name is that?
My new society page editor. Perfect, don't you think? He's just what I need to cover the bird brains you hang out with.
This is an outrage.
You're right, and I'm sorry.
You are?
Yeah, I didn't even mention your name until the 4th paragraph, but I promise, you go on a bender like this, I'll put you right on my front page.
So typical of you, Todd. To take advantage of a man's personal foibles.
I wouldn't call howling from a rooftop in downtown Llanview personal, and I wouldn't call it a foible either, because I don't know what that is.
Do you know what a scandal sheet is?
Mel Hayes is a newsman. He knows what happens to people who make news.
That's not news. That's character assassination.
Well, whatever it is, I'm going to keep doing it, and you want to thank me for all the grief that I'm saving you. Yeah, that's right. Because I have a feeling that Mel Hayes isn't going to be around for too much longer, and you're going to have to find yourself a new plaything. Consider this just a warning about good old Mel.
Mel Hayes is worth 10 of you.
Well, he certainly drinks like 10 of me. Second thought, maybe I shouldn't warn you. Maybe I should enjoy watching you go through another romantic disaster, because Mel Hayes is not your type. For one thing, he's old enough to shave.
What's that bird up to?
Well, he hasn't eaten in a while, and he's trying to figure out what food group you are. Yeah, sicker.
You're sick. Back off. Back.
Sicker.
Grow up.
Cement shoes.
I have a feeling this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
It was very strange today. Listening to those speakers, realizing they were eulogizing my father. But I didn't really even know the fellow we buried today.
Neither did I. Not the man they commemorated with such beautiful words. The person I knew was so different at home, cold, remote, vaguely depressed. And I guess, at least now I know why. I mean, he looked at me and saw everything he wanted and couldn't have. This all would have been a mystery to me if you hadn't come along. I really do owe you a lot.
Nonsense. It's I who owe you the debt. You believed in me, even though it drove Max here into a frenzy.
I wouldn't say frenzy, exactly.
Well, whatever it was, it wasn't pleasant. And you rode it out. And because of that, my mother's locket was able to work its magic. And so I am free of Guy, for better or for worse.
Hey. How are you?
Better. How about you?
Good. Good. I just need a little bit of fresh air. Normally, we would have had another bishop officiating at the cathedral on the graveside, but this way I think Uncle John got the kind of personal ceremony he would have wanted. He's a very private man.
Aggie, there certainly was an outpouring of love for your father today. I hope that helped you make your peace with him.
Yeah, I think it did. All kinds of people were coming up to me, telling me about some kindness that he did for them, you know, an act of generosity. And I think I'd heard the stories before, I just kind of forgot. And others I didn't even know till today. He really had a calling for his work. And whatever calling he had for family, I guess it just couldn't survive the great lie, you know? It just poisoned everything, including our relationship. I always knew he was withholding something. I thought it was love, but it was trust.
Well, I think they're pretty much the same thing. Don't you? Why don't we go inside and get something to drink?
I want you to know I will never betray the trust you have in me.
I think I'd die if you did.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
leaving so soon?
Excuse me, I forgot something.
Yeah, like a good excuse on why you're avoiding me.
I am not avoiding you.
Really? Cassie, you and I are starting to play those same awful, childish games on one another, and it's really time it stopped.
Just speak for yourself.
I will. I'll take as much blame for this as you will. Because you and I, we're starting to flaunt our partners at each other, and it's getting a little out of control.
Kevin, I am not flaunting Andrew. I am married to him. You're just upset that I'm ignoring you and Taya.
Ignoring me? It's more like you're stalking me. You're getting in my face every time I dare show it in public.
Kevin, your ego is in overdrive, all right? I am simply going about living my life, and my life isn't about you.
Cassie, damn it. We need to get together. Okay, this is not the time and the place. I realize that. Fine. You name your time, you name your place, and you name your own ground rules, but you and I need to get together.
Kevin, nothing is going to change.
Well, what do you got to lose then?
An afternoon.
And maybe some of your illusions. What's the matter? Don't you trust yourself away from Andrew even for just an hour? Didn't you know that trust and love were the same things? I mean, haven't you heard that, Cass?
Excuse me?
No way. Once and for all, you and I, we're going to be truthful. Now, if you are really, truly happy with Andrew, well then great. The games can stop, and you and I can go back to being in the same office without one of us having to constantly powder their nose. And if not, well, hey, we'll figure out what happens next. But Cassie, please, I am begging you, please just be honest with me about what is going on here and now, okay?
Dishonesty is not an accusation I take lightly.
Well, then how would you characterize your behavior?
Stupid works.
But you are not a stupid man.
I hope I'm not a dishonest one either. I accepted this job on the Banner, a paper I respect, in an attempt to restructure certain chaotic elements in my life. But that ain't going to change overnight. But I have some expectation that it will change.
In the meantime, the news is not written by resumes and reputations. The news is written by reporters. Now, your name is going to sell a few extra papers for a while. And as young as our staff is, your experience will be appreciated. But for what we are paying you, we expect big results. And I personally expect you to work just as hard as any other member of this staff and not to make a mockery of their efforts or your own. Now, you will either leave here with a very clear understanding of what is expected of you, or you will leave, period, for good. And certainly, you decide which you want to do.
I'm sorry. I have no trouble coming up with a snappy response when I'm in the right. But I'm positively tongue-tied on those rare occasions when I'm in the wrong. Now, for instance.
That's an easy answer.
It's a heartfelt one. I've always insisted my private life is just that. Private. But this is very public. The only damage to me was a less than flattering photo. But yes, the incident reflected badly on the Banner. In Washington, it would have been barely noticed. On the hill to your left, ladies and gentlemen, is the Capitol building. Sleeping one up on the corner to your right is award-winning reporter Mel Hayes. I'm beginning to realize that here in Landview, my colleagues and readers are also my neighbors and friends, and when I behave disrespectfully, I'm being disrespectful to them. For that, and especially for the embarrassment I caused you, I am truly sorry. Now, I waive my right to the traditional blindfold and last cigarette.
Your execution is canceled. I accept your apology. But I do not expect to make a habit of it.
They're good.
Not that good. I meant every word, I'm afraid. Vicky was right. I hate that in a publisher.
Clam sauce.
What did you just say?
Clam sauce.
Todd, we're drawing blanks looking for the Parrot's owner. Maybe we'll find something in the afternoon classified.
You know what, Briggs? Why don't you just forget about it? I think this bird is a keeper. You know, as in finders keepers. Do me a favor, go get a copy of the Banner, will you? Well, I need to line his cage with something. And call the pet store, will you? Give me a bunch of parrot stuff. You know, like a cage, I guess, a perch, some wheel or something to play with, and some clam sauce.
Did you say clam sauce?
No, he said clam sauce.
I'll have Lou get right on it. White or red?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
The clam sauce. You want a red? You want a white?
I don't know. You ask him. You want a red clam sauce or you want a white clam sauce? Well?
I'll get both.
What?
Mr. Manning, it's Dr. Sands.
Yeah?
We have the results of the DNA tests. I can't reach your wife or Mr. Thornhart.
What are the results?
Good news. The baby's a match for Star. We have a donor.